So someone had has climbed the rankings pretty quick. He's still such a young player, breaking through last year really, and Antwerp was a good week for him. Followed up with an excellent result the following week in Brest, made it all the way to the final of a big challenger there. So certainly a guy that's a young player that's playing at the top of his game right now.
Let's see how near the top of his game is Gael Monfils. Sometimes he can be quite explosive, sometimes very defensive. Yesterday, a lot of his match, he was very defensive against Paolo Lorenzi, but came up with the right result in the end.
Yeah, I think that's what it was all about, just getting the win. I think the default for him is to sit back, when he's not feeling confident, not feeling comfortable out there. He knows he can run if need be and outlast his opponents, and he was able to do that eventually.
So Struff will be the first introduced to the crowd.
The players for tonight's next round of 16 match. From Germany, Jan-Lennart Struff.
Tall man, built to match, explosive game, but what we saw yesterday was wonderful talent around the net as well.
Well, it was quite remarkable throughout the course of the match that the volleys that he was pulling off, but not only that, the passing shots that he was having to make as well, from full stretch deep in the corners, taking Burdick by surprise. But he stuck with his game plan. That was probably the most impressive thing for me.
Monfils ranked 46 now, and he's 7 slots better off than Struff. It's his lowest for 4 years, when he's been as I said just 13 months ago, his highest in his career when he got to number 6 in the world. I suppose a lot of cynics would say he's an underachiever, but when you look at his prize money, $12.7 million, that's just on court. It's not bad return for an underachiever.
No, not at all. And what he could still achieve, really, 31 years of age. So, okay, he's not done yet by any stretch of the imagination. Stays healthy, which is probably the toughest thing, has been the toughest thing for him throughout his career. If he can stay healthy, for another 3 or 4 years, he could get himself back inside that top 10. Certainly with the players at the moment, the top players injured. Why not? He could go deep in another slam. He could perhaps win a Masters 1000 if he's in form. He stays fit.
It's a big if, though.
It is, yeah. I mean, that is the biggest question for him, is staying healthy. 2016, he was able to do that for pretty much 12 months, but things started crashing down around him last year.
I wonder if he'll be kinder on his body the way he plays. Sometimes he really does stretch every sinew and asks an awful lot of him.
A couple of reminders. We have net device, 25 seconds between points, TV changeovers, and Hawkeye. If you want a challenge, please say challenge using your voice, with no delays between first and second serve. Any question? Okay, who do you want him to choose? So it's going to be Qatar or Falcon? Falcon? Go ahead.
Let's find out. Is it Falcon or Qatar?
Qatar, Gael?
Agree to serve.
Serve?
Yeah.
Okay, one picture facing that side and then one to the other side.
So I think Monfils won the toss of the coin, and he's decided he'll serve.
So you can go. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
2 tall guys. I mentioned that Struff is 6'5". Monfils, of course, 6'4", and a quite exceptional mover. In many ways, the finest mover on the tour, and perhaps of all time. Extraordinary athlete. At one stage, he was going to be a track and field athlete, and his coach said that if he carried on with athletics, he could have made an Olympic final, and you can in sprint. Mm-hmm. You can see that is very possibly the case. There's the section of the draw in which they're in, the bottom half of the top half. And the winner will play Peter Gajovcik of Germany, who's beaten Matteo Bertini, the qualifier from Italy, 6-2, 6-2. So Gajovcik through to the last 8. Also through earlier on, Mirza Basic a qualifier from Bosnia-Herzegovina. Took out Feliciano Lopez, the number 8 seed. Andrei Rublev, if you're watching earlier on, he beat Fernando Verdasco 6-4, 3-6, 6-4. And he plays Borna Coric, who backed up his win yesterday against Karenia Busta, the number 2 seed, by beating Nicholas Basilashvili from Georgia 6-1, 6-3. There are the stats on Struff. Had a really good year last year. A couple of semi-finals in Winston-Salem and St. Petersburg, and 3 other quarter-finals in Marrakesh, Munich and Vienna. 3rd time in Doha for him. Got to the 2nd round 3 years ago, where he beat Philip Kohlschreiber before losing to Dustin Brown. Signs that he is really starting to make an impression now on the top flight for the first time. He's been a bit of a sleeper already. I mean, you know, what we saw from him yesterday, allying the Gael to the power, is a decent cocktail.
Absolutely, he's a dangerous floater in the draw, no doubt about that. I think the fact that he plays so much of his tennis on his terms certainly was in control of his destiny yesterday. And well, he talked about mentally how he's starting just to turn the corner, and we saw that yesterday.
Born in Paris, but lives like, well, pretty much all the French players in Switzerland for tax reasons. Well, I'm sure he loves the country too, but saving money would have been the main motivation. Six career titles. Semi-finalist at Roland Garros back in 2008, and in the US Open in 2016. Quarter-finalists in the Australian in 2016. But never done anything at Wimbledon. Reached the 3rd round 6 times, including last year. We lost to Adrian Manarino. But he has a legion of fans. Sometimes he can be the most boring player on earth, and other times he's just electrifying. You never know from any one given moment what he's going to do.
Yeah, it's almost as if what side of the bed he wakes up on in the morning, and that's what we're going to see on the court. But yeah, this is a guy that suffered so many injuries and has had so much time away from the court. You'd think he'd be raring to go at the start of 2018. The disappointments of last year. He's such an entertainer. He always draws in the crowds. You know, he's one of the nicest guys out there on tour as well, well liked by all the players, but sometimes you're just left so frustrated after watching him. He could do so much more, but you know, I guess you achieve what you achieve. A lot of people say he's an underachiever, but perhaps he wouldn't have achieved if he hadn't been the way he is. I mean, he's pretty laid back. He doesn't stress too much. I mean, he's had his ups and downs as far as Davis Cup is concerned, but you know, he's an incredibly gifted player, such a talent, and I still think at 31 years of age he could still achieve even more.
It's extraordinary to think of him as one of the older generation of players now at the age of 31, because in many ways he's still a teenager. He has that youthful exuberance about him, and he loves out on court. He loves entertaining the public. There's a great symbiotic chord between the two.
Yeah, 31, but he's missed so many years. He's probably tennis years still probably around the 25 mark. That's how long he's spent around. If you total up all the months that he spent away from the match court, still very young as far as tennis is concerned. I mean, this is a guy that once I was calling a match, he injured himself walking to the court to his semi-final match, twisted his ankle walking to the court, had to pull out after 2 games. I mean,
can you remember where that was?
It was in Budapest or Bucharest, I can't remember, but it's quite astonishing that you know, he walked on the court and said something's not right. He was hobbling around in the warm-up for the match, and match started, a couple of games, and he couldn't play, and we later found out that he actually twisted his ankle walking to the centre court. So you know, he's very unlucky, and plus a lot of players are just more injury prone than others.
Cartonarians, his coach, Struff's coach, rather. Yes, the other thing about Monfils isn't that the pressure that he puts on his ankles. I mean, he has had terrible ankle problems. He had knee problems. Well, he's had problems with almost every part of his legs. But particularly the ankles, on the way he plays. I just wonder if he will just modify his game a little bit as he gets more experience.
Well, there was no coincidence for me why he was so successful in 2016. The fact that, you know, he was playing more aggressively. He wasn't always the one doing a lot of the running and defending. I mean, that's a massive strength of his, and you don't want to take that away. But, you know, he's got to add to his game as well. And playing a little bit more aggressively certainly takes the pressure off the body. You know, you can shorten the rallies. You don't, you know, have to go 2.5 hours to win every match, and it's not about just getting through one match, it's getting through several and still feeling healthy at the end of it.
So a round of 16 this one. The winner to play Peter Gajovcik of Germany.
Gael Monfils to serve.
So Gael Monfils of France, Jan Lennart Struff of Germany.
Ready?
It'll be Monfils who won the toss of the coin, and he will start. Can't imagine we're going to have too many service breaks in this match.
This guy's going to be tough to break if he serves anywhere near where he did yesterday. High first serve percentage. Monfils, we know, can crack down a serve. It's whether he will stick with it.
30 low.
Can sometimes be caught rolling that first serve in just to start the point, but it is a real weapon when he hits it.
Low. Game Monfils.
Well, no messing of that opening game. Sometimes you get the feeling that Monfils almost wants something to happen in adversity so he can get himself out of a hole, but there was no hint of that there. Like a sprinter off the blocks.
Very good start. No taping on that right knee. That's what kept him out in 2017 eventually. A little bit of taping you could see, just kind of bottom of the left calf. Hopefully nothing too serious.
Jan Lennart Struff to serve.
Well, that's never a good sign. Hopefully he hasn't twisted anything, it's just a simple slip.
Yeah, it looked awkward, but it didn't look that devastating. You might treat it gingerly for the next couple of minutes or so.
Yeah, it looked as if it was the left knee. They may have just slightly twisted, but he's shaking out the right leg. Over stretching.
One game off.
Yeah, still not entirely confident. But two very confident service games from each guy.
Now. Let vessel. Love.
Not entirely right. Just wonder if that problem with the right leg's anything to do with the fall, or maybe he's come in with that. But he's not entirely happy, that's for sure.
3 sets yesterday would have taken a bit out of him, but this does not look good. Just wonder if it's worth calling the physio here.
Yeah. It looks like it might well be that calf.
Yeah.
Just not keeping him honest there. A little bit of a grimace and a worrying look from Monfils. Interesting to see if he does have the physio on here. We'll keep you informed. But he has held and leads 2-1.
Uf, es muy molesto. Apenas puedo tragar. Lo que me funciona es un analgésico y antiinflamatorio. He probado Strefen y es realmente rápido.
Empieza a actuar en 5 minutos y te alivia de 4 a 6 horas. Une la eficacia del flurbiprofeno, un potente antiinflamatorio con la acción localizada actuando rápidamente en la garganta.
Con Strefen, adiós dolor de garganta.
Lea las instrucciones de este medicamento y consulte al farmacéutico.
Ahora tienes el papel higiénico 2 capas día a 0,97 la segunda unidad. Y la gama de detergentes Viva al 70% de descuento en la segunda unidad. Día, calidad y precio están muy cerca.
So much about this fellow mystifies us. Another little mystery. Why did he not have the trainer on? Just to talk it through. Obviously he knows what the problem is. And we suspect it's an ongoing problem with the calf that may or may not have been exacerbated by that fall. Either way, he's not happy. But no trainer called.
He's stretching the calf out, but stretching the groin as well, the hip area. Difficult to pinpoint exactly what it is.
Looks as if he was okay there. Interesting, earlier on in the rally, the ball just died. Soft spot on the court. But Monfils got it back, but not in the end to any real effect. But he was moving better. Struff having no problem at all holding serve at the moment.
Good signs continuing from where he left off yesterday. Just as aggressive from the back of the court. Must be full of confidence, the German, after his win yesterday against Burdick. He too will probably be feeling a little bit sore. It's a long match. Explosive match.
30 love. Mr. Struff is challenging the call on the right service line.
Struff challenging. He's a willing challenger. He's challenged far more than any other player in this tournament. And he's got around a 50% success ratio. And it improves with that one.
30 love.
That's classy. Good movement. Very clean ball striking.
Is that failed challenge from Struff there? He's won 6 and lost 9 of his challenges. 15 challenges so far in the tournament for him. In just over for one match. So 3-2 Monfils.
Llegan las rebajas a Conforama. Más de 10.000 artículos con descuentos de hasta el 70%. Del 2 al 25 de enero. En Conforama y Conforama.es.
Las ocasiones especiales hay que celebrarlas, pero a Juan le pueden causar ardor y a su gemelo Miguel acidez. Los dos pueden combatirlo con Gaviscon Forte doble acción. Actúa rápidamente, neutraliza los ácidos del estómago y crea una balsa protectora que evita que suban hacia el esófago, aliviando tanto el ardor como la acidez. Gaviscon Forte doble acción. Lea las instrucciones de este medicamento y consulte al farmacéutico.
Plenty of French to enjoy this evening. Gael Monfils here against Anna Struff, and then Richard Gasquet taking on Stefanos Tsitsipas of Greece. Tsitsipas, rather. Get used to saying that. According to you, Arv, he's going to be a force.
Yeah, it's the real deal in my eyes.
Just 19 years of age. It'll be fascinating to see him.
With a single-handed backhand as well. Those single-handers don't get taught very often these days. Caught a bit too deep there, Monfils.
Said that a few times in his career.
Absolutely, needs to get up the court there. Too much tennis being played around that Qatar writing.
He's asking an awful lot of himself, isn't he, playing from that far back, but he always has.
Just not much you can do from back there. How can you be that effective? It's really difficult. Consistency. It's tough.
Well, no sign of any real counter to the Struff serve from Monfils. Six games in just a quarter of an hour. Pity, because as we saw yesterday, he's got better control at the net than he showed there.
What Burdick would have given for a couple of misses like that. That's the right shot, but just wrong execution. Had a bit more time on that forehand, had to pull the trigger.
Single volley there from Monfils. Another love service game. He's dropped just 1 point on his serve, and so is Struff. 4-3.
No te conformes con esto. Finish Quantum elimina las manchas más difíciles a la primera. Cámbiate a Finish Quantum y descubre la diferencia.
Extraordinary serving stats for Gael Monfils. 76% first serves in. He's won 13 out of 13 when the serve's gone in. 3 out of 4 when it hasn't. Struff, well, he's not getting so many first serves in. Only 31% at the moment. But he's dropped just 1 point behind his second serve in the match so far. Will that change here?
Love 15.
Encouraging for Monfils, the fact that he was up on the baseline, inside the baseline, returning that second serve, trying to be a little bit more aggressive. Better mindset from him. He just wasn't missing those yesterday. It's a couple now. That one a little bit more difficult, but surprising that he didn't at least make it.
Again, a wretched game. No wonder Coach Arians is shaking his head. 3 break points, first break points of the match, out of the blue. And they could well settle the set. How on earth? It's not the same guys we saw yesterday.
Very surprising. I just wonder if the expectation levels today were just ramped up and he feels a bit more pressure to back up that performance from yesterday.
So Monfils serving for the set, just over 20 minutes. That's more like it. That's what we saw time after time in this match against Burdick.
Going too close to the lines on the first ball. Just stuck it. Got some decent angle to it.
With it. One really good point, but that's an erratic as far as this match is concerned. Set point. Well, it wouldn't be Monfils if he was easy on himself. Why not go the complicated route? Second double. Well, he was steadier there, but got to be careful when Monfils is in that kind of move, that kind of rally. It's bread and butter for him.
Yeah, it's easy power, isn't it, for him as well? By far the best rally of this set.
Second set point. And there it is, just 24 minutes it took. Just a single break.
6 games to 3.
Plenty enough. So, Monfils takes the first set 6 games to 3. But really that set was more about Struff than it was Monfils.
Yeah, it's a really poor game that he threw in. Struff, 3 missed volleys, a double fault, and he'll be very disappointed with that. First serve percentage not that good from Struff, but he was doing pretty well behind his second, apart from that one game. Monfils a lot more solid behind his serve. Leg looks good as well.
¡Oh! Emergencia por dolor de garganta. ¿El dolor de garganta no te deja dormir?
Sí.
Prueba Streffen Spray con flurbiprofeno. Actúa sobre el dolor rápidamente, combate la inflamación y alivia hasta 6 horas. Streffen Spray con flurbiprofeno. Lea las instrucciones de este medicamento y consulte al farmacéutico.
BH Fragrances. For him, for her. By Carolina Herrera.
So never take anything for granted with Gael Monfils, but things apart from that little moment of worry when he fell, gone pretty much according to plan. But Struff, we know, is capable of a lot better than he showed in that first set.
He does blow hot and cold if you look at his results over his career. There's some poor results, but also what we saw yesterday, some highs, so you've got to guard against that. Take nothing for granted here. You've got to stay focused if you're Monfils.
Still windy, but not as windy as it has been.
Love.
Well, he's a macho player, but he's got to cut out these errors. Monfils would have loved that rally, even though he lost it.
Exactly. You've got to keep your eye on the ball as well when he's sprinting around the court like that. Struff eventually getting it done. He did well on that backhand volley actually, because it was struck very firmly. Backhand pass from Monfils.
Sergio.
Super play. Not the easiest little half volley at the net, but he coped with it very well.
The speed that Monfils possesses as well, you know you've got to do well on a ball like that. Kept it nice and low and got the direction he was looking for. It's just a bit too hit and miss right now. One good point, one poor one. Got to find some sort of consistency in his game.
Performance at the moment is riddled with errors, and here's a chance for Monfils to go a set and a breakup. Fancied it. He makes so many just like that, even from as far back as he was. First ace for the German.
Advantage stroke.
Comforting game because he was under the cosh there.
First game, second set.
Seemed to be letting himself down again, but he dug in well and he gets off to a lead in set number 2.
Well, hopefully that gets him back on track and gives him a little bit of confidence. That was a nice change up with the serve and volley with that second serve. One way to counter someone that's really hanging back on the return of serve at the moment, Monfils. That's where he feels comfortable returning from the majority of the time.
It's so difficult to play because you just never know when he's going to do something like that.
He's got a great all-court game. Can do a bit of everything. That's why he's pretty much been successful on all surfaces. Never loved the grass, but can still play well on it.
30 long.
To the final of Eastbourne. His first grass court final back in June. Well, he eyed it up. I'm surprised he didn't go for it, even though he knew it was going out, because it would be true to himself that he'd have taken that on.
30 love up as well.
Describe that shot he played.
I'm quite sure. That's not in the manual, that one, Simon. Tried to bluff him here. Looked as if he wasn't interested anymore, but Struff wasn't falling for it.
But it proves to be inconsequential. Monfils beginning to enjoy himself. You can see that little look in his eyes. He's warming to this, and that's bad news, I'm afraid, for Struff.
Love.
Creative. Good use of the wrists there for Monfils. Very difficult to read.
Got to that. I don't know. A few players on earth would have been able to do that.
Never switch off against him. Better job on the volley from Struff. Stayed alert there. Expect those ones back.
14-15.
Second ace. Struff serving better. He struggled in the first set. Not enough first serves in. It moves up above the 50% first serves in. And he leads 2-1.
Lo siento, pero estoy a esto de anular el fin de semana, ¿eh?
No. Estás a esto de encontrarte mejor y salir a remar.
Gelocatil Gripe combate eficazmente los síntomas de la gripe y el resfriado. Dolor, fiebre, congestión y secreción nasal. Gelocatil Gripe. Estás a esto de encontrarte mejor. Gracias, Gelocatil. Lea las instrucciones de este medicamento y consulte al farmacéutico.
Just the one break at the moment in the 8th game of the opening set. Monfils breaking there, that's all that separates them, and yet a feeling that we're not far away from another move from Monfils, but as we've said so many times, don't be too confident of what you believe when you're watching Monfils. Struff letting Monfils know that he's fully engaged in this match.
Struff definitely has become more consistent in the last 5 or 10 minutes, which is good to see.
How will Monfils get himself out of this little hole here. Well, that helps.
Over 10 minutes, which is good to see.
How will Monfils get himself out of this little hole here? I think he expected Struff to make a move across, and he didn't. Unhinged him.
Knew it as soon as he struck it as well that he'd given that one a bit too much air.
So a couple of break points. His first of the match. Well, Struff did okay, but that was a wretched game from Monfils.
Struff leads by 3 games to 1.
And he may be difficult to peg back now in this second set.
Bit of a body blow there from Monfils. Was playing well on the first dip in his game.
Love 15.
Just too much pace on the groundy from Monfils.
This really would be the perfect response. If you can break back immediately. Full stretch on the volley, so difficult to lose control of it.
Love 14.
Bit of self-destruction going on both sides of the net here.
That's strange. Just as you thought he was finding his game, deserts him.
Bludgeoning power from the big German. He's going to do it again and again. Surely he'll challenge.
Mr. Struff is challenging the call on the right knee at the line.
More problems.
The ball was gone out.
Your heart's in your mouth every time.
Yeah.
When he's out wide, he went to slide and his foot just got stuck. And he's got to play the point as well. Always dangerous trying to slide on the hard court. You're not really up to speed.
Point being replayed, which I think is a little hard on Struff.
Advantage Struff.
He's hardly worried about it. Well, Monfils had a big chance there. 3 break points, but nothing doing. Struff, well, he hung in there. Doesn't look like it from that scoreline because he does lead 4 games to 1 in the second set.
Dejar de fumar es duro. Pero Nicorette Pucomist puede ayudarte a dejarlo aliviando en 60 segundos tus ganas de fumar. Así que no lo dejas, empiezas a recuperar viejas aficiones y descubres otras nuevas. Nicorette Pucomist alivia la ansiedad en 60 segundos para ayudarte a dejar de fumar por fin. Nicorette, haz algo increíble. Lea las instrucciones de este medicamento y consulte al farmacéutico.
Por 7 euros en Italia recibes esto. O esto. Con Happy Car. Happy Car. Coches de alquiler en todo el mundo a partir de 6 euros al día.
Para el estreñimiento, lo que he hecho hasta ahora nunca sabía cuándo iba a funcionar. Hasta que descubrí Micralax Microenemas, una solución delicada que actúa entre 5 y 15 minutos para aliviarlo suavemente cuando lo necesito. Micralax Microenemas, tu alivio rápido y suave cuando lo necesitas. Lea las instrucciones de este medicamento y consulta al farmacéutico.
That is Gael Monfils. Has achieved so much. How much has he missed out on? Well, many diverse opinions on that. But he's given us a lot of fun, that's for sure. Another example of his delicate touch at the net, Struff.
The return that set it up. Very aggressive into the body, but he was able to create the space, power it through. Oh, even better. Monfils just did not even move a muscle there.
A decent second serve, not given any credit though by Struff. Worth a challenge.
Mr. Monfils is challenging the call on the right center service line. The ball was collapsed.
Wouldn't have missed by much.
Constance, second serve.
Not sure he's terribly competitive in this particular juncture in the match.
I just wonder if he's conserving a little bit of energy here for the third set.
Yeah.
Monfils.
The first serve doesn't go in. I don't think he's too bothered.
Yeah, it's not the first time we've seen that from Monfils. Sometimes is the play from him. I always think it's worth it when you just a single break down, just to hang in there.
Looks across as if he's injured.
Struff leads by 5 games to 1.
Not much fight in that particular game from Monfils, and Struff a double break up.
Things always begin to hurt a little bit more when you're down in the score as well. Forget about things when the scoreboard's looking healthy.
Third ace. I don't think he's prepared to rally too long in this game, but he still could be dangerous, Monfils.
15 on.
So here are 2 set points to take us into a decider.
Game on second set, Struff.
Yeah, certainly playing a lot better, but Monfils was pretty static at the end of that set. But 2 sets that whittled by. As you can see, the match just 51 minutes old, and we're moving into the 3rd set.
Nibbles, please. 1 set all.
Nothing is straightforward when you watch Gael Monfils.
Somewhat of a head scratcher there towards the end for Monfils. Looked re-injured. Didn't see any of that at the end of the first set. It was a bit of a struggle behind his serve. Percentages way down, and struggling behind that second serve. A lot better, a lot more consistent tennis there from Struff, and he took advantage. 4 aces as well.
But when Monfils is in the mindset he is, and certainly was at the end of that second set, stats don't matter an awful lot.
Absolutely.
So, 1 set all.
Nueva Esenza Mini, para grandes momentos de café. Descúbrela en Nespresso.com o en tu boutique Nespresso más cercana.
Tos. Gracias a los cultivos y la investigación de Avoca, Grintus, a base de complejos vegetales y miel, calma la irritación, protege la mucosa y favorece la eliminación del moco. Grintus cambia la manera de tratar la tos. De Avoca.
Struff is back, and it's 1 set all. Positive intent from Monfils, but it was a difficult volley to make.
I think the next 5 or 10 minutes are going to be crucial to him. Re-energize himself and get the intensity levels up. That was a positive sign there. Body language, nod of his head towards his corner.
he jumped too early.
He has the ability to hang though.
30 all.
Such an incredible athlete. All the backhand before was just as impressive. He was able to save it from going wide.
Well, it looks like Monfils still believes in this match.
40,000.
Well, he wasn't the one who went off, but it looks like it's a different Monfils who started this set than the one who ended the last one. Well, he really wasn't at the races.
It's more like it, and his coach Tillstrom will be happy with that. There he is. He's been with him for a couple of seasons now.
Can't see any signs of grey hairs, but he would bring them on, wouldn't he, Monfils?
He would, yes. And sometimes the performances that Monfils puts in just probably won't compute to him, being a hard-working Swede that he was. At the same mould as Magnus Norman, Thomas Enquist, Thomas Johansson, all the former great Swedish players. Frustrating miss from back there. Got to clear the first target.
It's fascinating. He's had big wins before, hasn't he, Struff? But I don't think he's ever had two big wins back to back. He beat Burdick yesterday. Can he back that up here by beating Monfils? All right, Monfils is now ranked 46 in the world, but he's a big name.
Slightly different opponent today. Slightly more skillful Monfils, and of course mentally for Struff there's going to be a little bit of a come down as well after such a big win yesterday and having to pick himself back up today. No time to celebrate that win.
So 2 more break points. Yes, how brave was that? Break point down.
Had to go for it. Couldn't hesitate there. Otherwise, you see these balls missed. Nothing sort of return there from Monfils. Had to generate all his own pace as well.
Disappointing. Again, strewn with errors, I'm afraid. Monfils more stable than Struff at the start of the third set.
You can accept being broken, but it's how you get broken, and the 2 times that he has lost his serve, it's been a bit of a donation.
Mr. Struff is challenging the call on the left near line. Cancel the challenge.
He's going to cancel the challenge. Might get missed by a million miles, but early on to lose another one. But it was out.
Long.
Just falling away, isn't he?
Become very erratic once again. Midway through the first set, that's what we saw.
Catching the double fork bug, his fourth. Masterful shot. It's pretty one-sided at the moment. Struff's got to find the kind of form that he showed patches in the second set and against Burdick yesterday. Otherwise, this could be over quickly.
Cuidarte es que puedas sonreír ahora y que puedas sonreír siempre. Por eso en Asisa, además de salud, tenemos seguros dentales, vida y decesos, porque cuidar de las personas es mucho más que cuidar de su salud. Llámanos y descubre cómo ahorrar un 30% en salud y dental durante 2018.
Classique, Le Mal, Fragrances by Jean-Paul Gaultier.
Well, sometimes matches with Gael Monfils can seem very slow indeed, but this is an hour and 2 minutes, and it's 3-love in the third set. Can Struff pick it up?
Love. Mr. Struff is challenging the call on the right faster line.
He does love a challenge. Very few players who challenge more than he, even though he rescinded the last challenge.
Constance, second serve. Love. Mr. Struff has 2 challenges remaining.
That too was a little bit of a donation from Gael Monfils. Does he feel he's nearly there now and will just relax and hope his serve does the job?
Well, serve's certainly good enough to be able to see this one through. I think it's just a case of keeping his focus here.
Would have been tough if it was over, even for Struff to deal with. Really good return of a full-blooded serve.
15 all.
Really good second serve and a useful finish.
So much work to that serve, and right in the corner. Playing fairly quickly now. Actually got some momentum.
40-15. Game of fields.
Struff going for glory, but I'm afraid at the moment he seems to be heading for defeat.
On field leads by 4 games to 1.
Monfils holds again with some comfort, and is just 2 games away from the place in the quarter-final.
People don't want to think no more, they just want to feel. They want to let go. All the girls want, all they looking for is let's get right, let's get right, let's get right, okay. All the girls want, look at you, look at me.
1 Million, Fragrance for Men by Paco Rabanne.
What's Struff got left here? Can he surprise us? Looks to be dwindling. Oh, thank you, guys. Monfils thinks it's wide. Looked all right. He was certainly closest to it. He was very quick in with his challenge. Dealt with it very comfortably. Two wonderful shot. How good was the volley? Because he was moving away and still placed it brilliantly.
30-15.
Lovely bit of skill and the athleticism of Monfils as well, to put the brakes on there and be able to get back to that one. Not too many players would have got that one back. High quality point.
Can he keep that level? He'll need to. Good sign.
40-15.
Didn't think twice. Yeah, ripping that winner. Such power that he has.
Another lightning quick game.
Monfils leads by 4 games to 2.
Got 2 chances to break Monfils. Sure enough, Struff is challenging. There's an opportunity to challenge.
First dance for serve.
Does Monfils think he should
No,
have won
because the
point?
line umpire called it. Yeah.
Some second serve.
It's not holding back this third set behind that second. It's changing direction as well, going into the forehand.
Oh, all that we love about Gael Monfils on show in that rally.
He just really enjoys playing those type of points, just ending with a little bit of cat and mouse. Such a good defender of the ball, slipping and sliding everywhere.
Fifth double. Monfils backing himself from the back. So many opportunities to come in, but it was never going to happen.
Bit too ambitious that time.
14,000.
From way back there. That's where he's just got to stay disciplined here and close these games out.
Listen to the roar from most of them non-French, but feeling French right here. Monfils leads 5-2.
Cuando tu ropa se vuelve grisácea y ya no brilla como el primer día, prueba Vanish Gold para blancos. Su fórmula con agentes blanqueadores es tan potente que blanquea la ropa en un solo lavado. Conquista tus blancos con Vanish Gold. Vanish Gold. Blancos más blancos al instante.
Nunca sabes cómo acaba un gran día, pero sí sabes cómo empieza. Desodorantes Axe, creados por los mejores perfumistas. Axe, fragancia y frescor para todo el día. Estas navidades acierta seguro. Regala Maxi Fragancias Axe.
Allí está, día tras día, incondicional, aguantando lo que haga falta. Pero ¿sabes qué? Tu vitro no es inmortal. Los productos no específicos no protegen su cristal y terminan debilitándolo. En cambio, Vitroclen recubre tu vitro con una capa de silicona, dejándola fuerte y brillante, evitando que se dañe. Vitroclen, el único recomendado.
An hour and a quarter is all we've been going. But already Jan Lennart Struff is having to serve to stay in the match. It's not that cold. Coolish night. Much breezier this evening than it has been through the week.
It just hasn't been as good this evening. Four-court game. Too many makeable volleys missed.
Oh, what a shame. Would have been one of the rallies of the year, by the end of this year.
Oh, the court coverage from this guy is just mind-boggling.
He caught the ball up here.
A reverse forehand there. Nice bit of skill, but then just so quickly out the corner once again. Hungry for the next ball. Would have been fitting to end on a winner here for Monfils. Got there with time.
Of course, he's built up his fan base year on year here in Doha. 3 times he's been to the final, hasn't won it. Got to the final in the first tournament here back in 2006. Yeah, good reactions. Yes, Federer beat him in 2006, then a 6-year gap, and in 2012 it was his compatriot Tsonga who beat him. 2 years later, Nadal.
And that's what you're looking for in serving out matches. First serve, 3 points. Keep things as basic as possible.
Very close, but he's not going to challenge it. Oh, yeah, read his mind.
That was quick thinking and great speed up the court there.
13-15.
Punched it home. Finished with class. Well, it was a doubtful start, particularly with the stumble, which looked like it could be costly. Then the second set raced away from him. But you have to say, he's finished in style here, Monfils.
Certainly has. Had a little bit of everything that match. The good, the not so good, and the superb. Physically, he looks as if he's pulled up okay as well. Showing some real athleticism there towards the end. Always so exciting to watch this guy. And the fans love him.
Monfils through. He'll meet Peter Gajopczyk in the quarterfinal.
So, you know, for me, just great to be here.
I got to ask you about the ankle. Initially, it was the ankle, and then you had the toe plant. How you feeling? You all right?
No, I'm good. You know, I'm good. Just a bit safety, but I don't know. I slept, but should be fine.
Peter Gajopczyk up next. Apparently, we're throwing Germans at you this year. The last time you played, it was Davis Cup 2014. You won that in 3. What can we expect from that matchup?
You know, he's a tough player. He's very good from the baseline. He had a good serve. So, you know, I just have to play my game again, and hopefully, you know, I'm going to find the key to win it.
It's an absolute blast having you here. Best of luck in the quarters. Ladies and gentlemen, Gael Monfils.
So Monfils once again through to the last 8.
Overall by 606. Novak Djokovic is finally set to return to action next week after 6 months out with an elbow injury, and he'll then decide whether to take